Every system, no matter how complex, relies on a single node. If that node holds, the system functions. If it fractures, everything collapses around it. For centuries, under the Westphalian system, international power was strictly a matter of physical mass. Empires measured their security by counting the size of their armies, the thickness of their fortifications, and the sheer acreage of territory. A Prussian general named Karl von Clausewitz noticed a flaw in that purely material math. He realized that physical assets are completely inert on their own. They only become dangerous when animated by a sovereign's will, the human capacity to direct that force toward a political objective. A nation could possess overwhelming military superiority and still lose a war if its resolve was broken. The physical hardware meant nothing if the commanding intelligence vanished. That vulnerability made human will the original pivot domino of classical conflict. In the modern networked era, the nature of that critical node has shifted. Physical infrastructure is structurally locked to continuous digital network flows. Take a massive shipping terminal. If you sever the digital customs clearance data flowing into its ledgers, the facility ceases to operate as a port, instantly becoming thousands of tons of frozen steel and idle cargo. Blowing up a physical port requires massive, expensive kinetic force at a specific geographic location, but controlling the digital choke point that feeds it is incredibly cheap, almost invisible, and can be executed from a continent away. We are currently crossing into the autonomous era. Systems are moving past simple data transmission and beginning to make active, tactical decisions at machine speed, completely outside of human observation. When an artificial intelligence executes an operational decision without a human in the loop to verify it, whose intent is actually driving the machine? The role of technology in statecraft has mutated. In the classical era, a cannon was simply an external tool a nation possessed. Later, a power grid became the medium through which a nation operated. Today, technology is becoming the actual substance of sovereignty itself. An AI agent deployed in a crisis operates independently, actively expressing its own interpretation of a sovereign's orders in real time. If a state fails to explicitly program its precise purpose into an autonomous system, it looks for direction elsewhere. 4 forces fill the void: an adversary corrupting data, a vendor kill switch, cognitive drift, or an algorithm blindly maximizing without human regard. Failing to explicitly engineer this intent directly surrenders a nation's sovereign authority to the algorithm itself, or to whoever manages to corrupt it first. This creates a dangerous time domain problem. We are currently living inside an ongoing threat model known as harvest now, decrypt later. Right now, hostile actors are vacuuming up vast quantities of highly encrypted sovereign communications, everything from intelligence assessments to strategic planning documents and command logs. They can't read it today, so they are putting it in cold storage. They are waiting for Q-Day, the rapidly approaching moment when quantum computing matures enough to crack our current cryptographic standards. When that hardware comes online, every piece of historical ciphertext they've stockpiled will instantly become readable. Because intercepting digital network flow leaves absolutely no physical trace, a targeted nation has no way of knowing their encrypted files have already been copied. The theft has already occurred. Securing the cryptographic layer protecting our autonomous systems is a race to mitigate a crisis that is sitting quietly on an adversary's hard drive right now. Attempting to slow down or pause autonomous systems is a lost cause.
The sheer speed of modern conflict makes them operationally mandatory. The only viable path forward is to engineer sovereign authority directly into the machine's architecture. This requires a framework known as commander's intent. Instead of writing a brittle list of rules that an adversary can easily game, engineers hardcode a deep contextual statement of the state's true purpose and its exact tolerance for risk. That encoded purpose is heavily guarded. Human integrity density continuously measures whether human operators are acting faithfully under stress, while semantic consistency algorithms constantly monitor the machine for the slightest behavioral drift from its core mission. To ensure this entire decision-making apparatus survives Q-Day, every command and forensic log must be shielded by post-quantum cryptography, locking adversaries out of the very data they are currently harvesting. We have taken the classical concept of Westphalian will, digitized it to protect modern network flow,
and finally hard-coded it as encoded intent for the autonomous age. National power is no longer measured by the size of a military or the resilience of a supply chain. It is measured entirely by the incorruptibility of a machine's encoded intent. If a state does not actively program its sovereignty into the algorithm, an adversary will gladly do it for them.